and welcome to this Coach Dave Academy lap guide for week number 11 here in the Sim Lab Production Car Challenge. My name is William Chadwick and I'm going to be driving this beautiful 2016 Mazda MX-5 Mark IV Cup car around the road America full course and show you every little tip and trick to help you get the maximum out of your race week here on iRacing.
You've got about 2 laps of fuel left.
Hello and welcome to the lap guide. You've just watched an OK hot lap and you're going to now get a lap guide here in this Mazda MX-5 at Road America. We're going to go over some of the key points to help you get the best lap times this week and get to some Sim Lab production car glory. Right, on this main straight, very, very big track, Road America, one of the biggest. You know, when you think of tracks on iRacing and tracks in the real world in general, every track in the real world is on iRacing, apart from a few. Oran Park, iRacing Super Speedway, some that come to mind. But as we head down into turn 1, braking after the 3 cone, I don't know why it's 4 cone, 3 cone, 1 cone, never understood that. But about in the middle where the 2 cone you'd expect to be. Kind of want the car to pitch in, and that's a massive theme in this car. Often under braking, because it's so front heavy, the car will go light, especially on one of our Coach Dave setups on the rear, and that just enables you to turn it in better because this car does still have a large amount of mid-corner, just general understeer. So by pitching it in, getting that little bit, as you can see, I'm kind of almost turning away from the corner, you know, as we're starting to turn in. And with using the trail in conjunction with that, you're able to get the car in a lot nicer. And as you can see, really maximising the curb usage on the inside and running a nice little exit here, being sure not to dip into the dirt and lose any speed. That's even more important as we go down into turn number 2. Braking again, one board or just before, kind of the one as you see it in the car, but just before, like, as you just see it cross the side pillar, get onto the brakes, nice and heavy braking. Don't need to worry about any specific brake shapes in this car. It's not really necessary. The tyre is very forgiving, although it is hard from initial warm-up in terms of being quite a cold tyre in general terms when we talk about iRacing. But yeah, very, very compliant tyre, and you don't need to protect it much in a race like this. So yeah, harden the brakes, get it to this inside curb, get to the power as early as possible. As soon as I'm meeting this curb, I'm getting flat on the power. Very, very precise here. If I was to dip a wheel in the grass, we'd be losing speed, we'll be over-rotating the car, but just thankfully, I'm able to kind of dodge that just about, almost just clipping it a very, very tiny amount. Now, here is, if you're really looking to get the maximum amount of lap time possible this week, this is where it matters. You're thinking, oh, exit's normal, fine. Yeah, but also, what I found is if you're dipping this wheel into this little divot here, you're genuinely, it's actually incredible. I couldn't believe it when I first saw it. I thought it was like a glitch. I've never seen the like on iRacing. If you get into this little divot here, and I'll try and accentuate it a little bit better by utilising the cameras, I don't know what it is. I don't even know if it's a dip or anything like this. It's just a normal little drop off, little bit of gravel. And normally in iRacing, this costs you barely any time, 100th, maybe 200th maximum, and that's even on a fairly long straight, right? You dip a wheel into here, and you get on that, you're losing 600-700ths down into the next corner, and it builds fast. Like, you lose a lot of speed straight away. So my only advice is avoid dripping a wheel there at all costs, because you're a lot faster by not doing that. Down, pass through the cheese bridge, very iconic. Do love real cheese people. Love that advertisement. Yeah, you must think when you're just a track owner, when iRacing comes around, you could surely hike your prices up, because these sponsorships stay for years. You know, you go to Brands Hatch and you see Motors TV. It's a very, very classic British television TV site that used to broadcast a lot of kind of grassroots racing, and they don't even exist anymore, and you still see them advertised. So, you know, advertisers, be wary. Down into the next corner, you can extend this entry like we talked about in the Porsche Cup guide, but if you didn't watch that, there is a slowdown here. If you go too wide, just be careful of that. Kind of just keep two wheels on this curb and you'll be completely fine. Big, big heavy braking right into the 100%. I'm a little deep here on the blip down, and I think ideally you want to be like eating this curb a bit more, and you can maybe even hook a wheel, but probably wouldn't settle the car. But I was early on the throttle and only lost about half a tenth here, so it wasn't terrible, although definitely not optimal. Into this next corner. Most cars can be pretty nervy as they rise the hill, but because we're so slow in this wonderful MX-5, we're actually almost cresting the hill when we need to brake. Just be careful. Very easy to dip a wheel here on this outside grass and turn in and lose the car, or just get a bit of oversteer, which is not necessary. This right here is a really nice run through, and again utilizes that opposite lock, the positive kind of slidey feeling of this car. As you can see, as we click through these frames, you can see my inputs are very much in the incomplete wrong direction, and in true Lightning McQueen style, we are turning right to go left. Getting on this inside curb again, using as much as possible, exiting, trying to avoid the gravel, gets you a lot of speed. Nice smooth line through here, just cut over the curb, but be careful not to clash any of the grass. Down now into the corner before what I like to call the carousel, but I don't even know that's its real name. Heavy on the brakes, get it down the gears, blip it down. This is a lovely bit of corner to hook the wheel inside, and it really doesn't unsettle this car. So again, can be used to maximum attack the corner, full throttle, again carrying that speed. Early throttle in a lower powered car is just so important. Through the carousel corner, as I like to call it, nice and tight on the initial. And as you start to reach the midpoint of the corner, I'd say the best visual reference for this is probably, it's very hard to say really, because there isn't one. Just kind of as you start to see this barrier come up on the right into more of the central shot, you can lift off, maybe give it a dab of brakes, get back onto the throttle, just allow the car to rotate. Use a bit of that lift off oversteer, maybe a bit of that happy on the nose feeling to get it nicely out the corner and carry loads of speed. Through here, I opt not to take the curb, and that is entirely on purpose because I'm trying to minimize the scrub, and I feel like getting on a curb here would potentially just scrub speed a little bit more. Again, actually opting to not use as much of the exit again to carry as much speed as possible. Very, very smooth inputs. Conservation of momentum is very important in a slow car like this. And as we head down towards the final sector of this lap, bang, onto the brakes, about 2.5, blip it down the gears, get it in, use that inside curb on the power early again. Don't take the mick here, don't go over the grass. Nice and neat, keep it tidy, keep that momentum up. Again, through the second to last corner, use the curb on the inside, minimise the amount you're steering. You don't need to use all of this because the car simply is not fast enough to need to utilise this amount of track to still be flat. Into the final corner, brake nice and late, open it up, use the positiveness of the Coach Dave Academy setup to get the nose in, use all of that curb on the inside, a lot of the curb on the outside, punch away to the start finish line, and as you crest over the hill onto the NTT bridge, you will have completed a lap of Road America in the MX-5 and hopefully a good time. 2 minutes 32, a long time to be doing a lap. Well, that is it for this lap guide for week number 11 here in the Sim Lab Production Car Challenge. Remember, take a use of those curbs around here in this beautiful MX-5 Cup car and really attack every corner as it comes. In the description below, you have the link to the Coach Dave Academy Discord. Please do join us and tell us what you think, not only in the Discord, but in the comments below. Give us a like if you enjoyed it, and also hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Remember, on our website, we do sell setups for this series and many more across iRacing and Assetto Corsa Competizione. So what are you waiting for? Come join Coach Dave Academy, and hopefully you can get faster too.